The recording has started. All participants are muted.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa. Wa salamun ala ibadihi allazina istafa. Amma ba'd, fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Fazkuruni azkurkum washkuruni wa la takfurun. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun ala al-mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. My dear brothers and sisters, last week we started touching upon the topic of remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the notion of remembrance, to remember somebody, to be inclined towards someone, is very strong in our deen of Islam. So much so that you will find that the basic premise, the basic maqsad, the basic purpose behind every worship that we do is also the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, if you take our salah, the main maqsad of salah is what? Dhikr, remembrance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has designated these 5 times throughout the day. And this is something that you have to do throughout your life. As soon as you become an adult, till the day that you breathe your last. If you're sick, you can pray while you're sitting down or lying down, or even with just signaling through your hands. And if you can't even do that, just even in your mind, even just by your lips, you have to pray because you are remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala mentions in the Quran, Aqimi salah li zikri. He's telling Musa alayhi salam that, O Musa alayhi salam, that establish my prayer for my remembrance, for my dhikr. So you're able to remember me. You're able to be mindful of me. So every aspect of the salah, whether it's the qiyam or ruku or the sajda, it is being mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the hope that if you are mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your salah, then you can at least try to be mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala throughout your day as well. And whoever is able to have such a salah, I mean, this is a difficult task. The best of us, in terms of people who actually try for the deen and who want to make something of their life as far as the deen is concerned, even the best of us, we don't realize that this is the main aspect, that we have to make our salah count. Because just doing the physicality is simple. Going up and down, standing, bowing, prostrating, right? Those actions are not that difficult to do. But making sure that our hearts and minds are present, which is known as khushu and khulu, that is something that is difficult to get. But that is something that is required. The hadith that was shared with you last time, La salata illa bi hudur al-qalb, that there is no salah, that there is no prayer without the mindfulness or without the presence in the salah. And once a person achieves it, this person will surely have solace in his heart. And that is the topic, right? That is the topic that we have given these series of lectures as well. That remembrance is the solace of hearts. That a heart that is suffering from ache, a heart that is broken, a heart that feels dark, a heart that feels empty. The cure, the solace of all of those illnesses is what? Is the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, Allah bi zikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. That you should know that there is no doubt that the itminan qalb, tamaniyat qalb, the heart finds solace in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That the peace and serenity of heart, of our consciousness, or the unease of our being, the cure of that is the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's almost like a dried out plant. Sometimes if a person is traveling and they have potted plants in their homes and nobody gives them water, what happens? When you come back, they are all withered. They're all weak. They almost look dead. And the heart of a person is very similar to that. That if you fail to take care of it, if you neglect it, if you don't provide it with nourishment, if you don't give it the water that it needs, then it withers away. Then it looks like it's dead as well. And then when you start doing the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ta'thir, the effect of the dhikr is that it starts to blossom up again. Like flowers blossom up during springtime. We all know it's winter, it's been very snowy, especially in Northeast. And everywhere we go, most of the trees, they look dead. Most of the grass, it looks dead. Most of the plants, they look dead. But we know that the life is within it. All it's looking for is the right environment. All it's looking for is the right temperature. All it's looking for is that opportunity to blossom again. And that is what our hearts are like as well. That when we engage in heedlessness, and this is something that we do knowingly, meaning we know that we are in a state of ghafla. Are we not? We wake up in the morning and till the time that we go to sleep, how much of our time is actually spent reflection about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How much time is actually spent thinking and contemplating about our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Subhanallah, we don't even reflect and contemplate and feel His presence even in our salah. Lest we should be doing this throughout the day. We don't even do it in our salah. And because of the absence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our lives, because we do it, we are in a state of ghafla. We don't feel this halawat of iman, the sweetness of faith. We don't feel it anymore. We don't feel the closeness of Allah. We don't feel wasjud waqtarib. When we go into sajdas, we don't feel the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also, Allah Ta'ala is mentioning it in the Quran, Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. That verily there is no doubt that salah, your prayer will protect you from what? Anil fahsha, all the vulgar acts, all the lewd acts that a person does. Lewdness, Allah Ta'ala will protect you from that. Wal munkar, or anything in all the munkarat, all the sins that we do, things that the Shariat has prohibited us from doing, the salah helps us achieve those. However, when we find that, mashallah, we're praying 5 times a day, yet we're still sinning, yet we're still wasting time of things that we know that we shouldn't be wasting time on. Preoccupied by our families, preoccupied by our homes, our businesses, our jobs, preoccupied by something as useless as TV and media and internet, preoccupied by those things. When we do that, what happens? What happens then? Then our salah does not have the same effect. And then we find ourselves doing vulgar talk and engaging in vulgar actions. We find ourselves engaging in munkarat, things that have been prohibited for us. We find ourselves doing that. Allahu Akbar. So it means that we haven't really been able to achieve, even for our salah, the reality of our salah. Okay? So let's put it this way. We don't know what the reality, haqiqat of salah is. We have not achieved it. And one sign of achieving it is that now in your life you will not have any fuhsh, any vulgar actions. In your life you won't have any bad actions, any sins. It will protect you from that. And this is, my dear brothers and sisters, what suhbat of awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you. That when you have the suhbat of awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you will find that the kayfiyah, the hal, the state of your salah changes. This is what the ta'alluq is all about. Because sometimes people think of, taking bay'ah with the shaykh and spending time with the shaykh, and, they lose sight of why we actually do that. We do it so we can change our own state. We do it so we can take help from somebody and we can change our state. And that is why we should be going to our teachers. That is why we should be going to our teachers. That, oh, my teacher, we want to pray like the awliya kiram. We want to pray like the sahaba kiram. We want to pray just one prayer like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So can you please help us achieve that? That is why we do it. It's not only for dunya. And nowadays, subhanallah, people go to mashayikh just for the dunya. Right? Give me a ruqya, make dua for my business. My wife doesn't listen to me, my children don't listen to me, right? I am sick, I'm not feeling well. So they are using this ta'alluq, they're using this connection with the awliya, with the friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for their dunya. Rather than saying that I am here so you can teach me how to pray. The real prayer, body and soul. Rather than saying that I want to make sure that every atom of my being is free. Is free from what? Is free from the impurity of sin. Right? Rather than saying that, we say about dunya, make dua for this, make dua for this dunyavi thing, and make dua for that dunyavi thing. Allahu Akbar kabira. And that is why we don't even feel the benefit of the suhbat, the company of the elders of the mashayikh. A person, he went to some friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he said, my shaykh is a very complete, he's a big shaykh. Okay, how is that? It's like that I have tested him. And verily he's a Allah wala. He's somebody who's very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, subhanallah, you're saying this, but what is the dalil? What is the evidence for this? Why are you saying this? He said, well, and my wife, she was angry with me. And because she was angry with me, she left my house and she went to her parents' house. And she was there, and I went and I pleaded with her, please come back. But she would not listen. They would not listen to me. And so I went to my shaykh and I asked him to make dua. And my shaykh gave me some wadifa, and subhanallah, I started doing that wadifa. And because of that wadifa, the effect was that subhanallah, my wife, without even asking, subhanallah, she came back. And verily it's because my shaykh is huge. Allahu Akbar. And so the person said that you have not done qadr of your shaykh. So why do you say that? Of course I do qadr of my shaykh. That is why I'm saying that he's so big, and I tested him on that. He said, if you had truly done qadr of your shaykh, then you would have used that relationship with him to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rather than get close to your own wife. Allahu Akbar. And this is our state today. SubhanAllah, it's ajib. It really is ajib. SubhanAllah, people who are old enough as I am, who have seen different generations, we can tell you that the amount of distractions today in life, the amount of heedlessness that is ghalib, that is dominant today in life today is unprecedented. Unprecedented. At least before, people have had time for each other. Now people don't have time even for each other. They are spending time in satiating their own desires. And it's such an enjoyment-centric society today. It's ajib. Enjoyment-centric. Listen to the way that children talk today. Oh, Abu, oh, father, I'm bored. After every 10, 15 minutes, oh, I'm bored. What next do I need to do? I played this game on the phone. Now I need a new game, right? I had this Xbox and PS4. Now I need a new game. Now I need something more to enjoy, something more to keep my mind off of my dark soul. This is what we're doing. And it is such a fact that most of us, we have such emptiness inside. And we have such darkness in our souls and our hearts. Because Allah Ta'ala put the calmness, the serenity, the peace in a dhikr. And when there is no dhikr in life, of course there is no sakoon and tamaniyat and peace and serenity in life as well. Allahu Akbar Kabira. And Allah Ta'ala protects a person who engages in the dhikr from such calamities. Now, it's not like nothing will happen in your life. That's not true. I don't want to give you the false impression that a person who engages in dhikr miraculously now there are no worries in life. No? But the worries don't affect his batin, his spirituality. The worries, the trials, the tribulations, they do not derail a person. Today we have everything, but we still are anxious. People are taking anti-anxiety. People are taking anti-depression all the time. All the time. Despite the fact that nowadays, I was looking at some statistic that, there's like throughout the history in 2019, 20, this is the least amount of poverty that has existed in the world. So on some scale, everybody has enough to eat. Of course, there are places where there are dhulm and cruelty and oppression, but I'm talking in general. In general, everybody has a shelter over their heads, and everybody has, they can eat twice a day, right? But despite the fact that people have these things, they're still depressed, they're still anxious. They're still anxious. And the amount of people taking their own lives, look at they call it developed country like Japan, people are killing themselves. Allah, what happened to you? People are killing themselves. They have nothing to look forward to. But because of this emptiness and darkness in the souls, they have no idea how to deal with it. And so they are actively taking away their lives. Allah Akbar. This is such a sad state, subhanAllah. I mean, we should really, on some level, we should really feel sympathy. It is our job, people of faith, people of iman, people whose heart Allah Ta'ala has filled with His muhabba and His ta'alluq, that we take it and give it to others as well. We take it and we give it to others, my dear brothers. We have to give it to others. We owe it to humanity. People say, oh, contribute to society. This is the best contribution that we can give them. There's a lot of science out there. There's a lot of technology out there. We don't need a car that drives itself again, right? SubhanAllah. This is how people think of progress. Oh, this car, you just have to think about it and it'll automatically turn itself on. And you blink twice and, change gear. SubhanAllah. I mean, this is not progress. Progress, if you're really looking for, is something that gives you a sense of fulfillment and purpose, that gives you sukoon in your heart. And when Allah Ta'ala asks people of Iman, people who believe in Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and His beloved Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you must take it to others and give it to others. Like, I understand that there are difficulties in your life. That is why you are using drugs and you are womanizing and you're drinking. You're drinking yourself to death. That is why you're doing it. But you don't have to live this way. There is a way out that our beloved Rasul showed us. And you are welcome to try it. Give it a try. Give it a try. Allahu Akbar Kabira. Allahu Akbar Kabira. And so we owe it to humanity to inshallah ta'ala, to show it to them as well. Allahu Akbar Kabira. And so a person can only understand what I'm talking about once they have tasted the lesson, the enjoyment of the dhikr of Allah, Allah, Allah. Even if you don't know the meaning of some of the dhikr has such an effect. Allah. There's so many stories of how people just listen to the Quran and it affected their heart. Tears would start to flow from their eyes. They didn't understand Arabic. They weren't even Muslims, but they were trying. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Why is that? Why is that? The real reason for that is because dhikr has effect. It is a medicine. It is the medicine for heart. And if you feel that your heart is at unease, your heart is anxious, it's full of depression, it's full of worldly thoughts, it's full of worldly connections, give it a try. Give it a try. And we work on our hearts because heart is the place, the center of emotions, the center where you remember people, right? No, what does a mother say? A mother always says, my son, my heart yearns for you. And nobody says my mind yearns for you, or my arm is yearning for you. Right? My heart, I miss you in my heart. So the heart is the place of remembrance, of being mindful. And similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's remembrance is in the heart. And the heart that is fragrant with the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahu Akbar, that even if this person is busy in the world, he will feel the fragrance and others around him or her, they will feel the fragrances. And this is the usul, the principle in our suluk, which is called dast bakar dil baya. Our mashayikh, they coined these terminologies. One is called hosh dardam, being, subhanallah. Nowadays people talk about mindfulness. Our mashayikh talked about this 1400 years ago. Hosh basically means, being mindful. Dardam, in every breath. Being mindful in every breath. The mashayikh of Naqshbandiya Silsila, they spoke about this. Hosh dardam. That every breath that you take in, and the breath that you keep in, and the breath that you exhale, what do? You are mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what we call wuquf qalbi as well. Waqf. Stop your heart from thinking about the dunya. Put a stop on your heart from yearning about the dunya. Put a stop on your heart for yearning about people in the dunya. Attach your heart with whom? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what wuquf qalbi. Wuquf qalbi. So this is dast bakar dil bakar. Dil bayar. That you are busy in whatever you're doing, but your heart is busy in what? Remembering Allah, Allah, Allah. Allah. And this is the life, people that we call Allah wala, ahlullah, friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And everyone can be that. They're not some special people who have some special DNA. No. Every person, male or female, let me say this again. Every person, black or white or yellow, male or female, any language speaking, any background, rich or poor, sick or healthy, any person can achieve this state, this level. If you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you follow in that footsteps, and you work on your hearts, you can achieve and you become ahlullah. You can become Allah. And this is the beauty of their existence, that even for a second, Their hearts are not ghafil, heedless of Allah. They actually say this. Jo dam ghafil, so dam kafir. That the breath that is taken in heedlessness, that breath is taken in kufr. Kufr means to reject, to hide the truth. Meaning that that breath is taken in kufr, in rejection of the truth. And then you achieve that level that even when you want to forget Allah, you still cannot forget Allah. Allah. What a beautiful maqam, what a beautiful state. That you can't even forget or forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if you want to forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, that is the beauty. That is the beauty. That you can't forget Him. Allahu Akbar kabira. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. May Allah Ta'ala give us, that kind of, subhanallah, get that kind of existence where even when we want to forget Allah, we cannot forget Allah. Subhanallah. We should at least ask for that, right? Why can't we ask for that kind of existence? Why can't we say, Allah, I want to remember you in every stage, in every circumstance, when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm alone, when I'm with people, when I'm working, when I am at leisure. Oh Allah, when I am in your house and when I am in my own house, oh Allah, at daytime or nighttime, Allah, I want to remember you. Allah, I want my heart to be fragrant with that woman. Why can't we make that dua? Why can't we make that dua? We should be making that dua. Why can't we make that dua? Allahu Akbar kabira. This is the kind of people that even, Allah Ta'ala Himself mentioned in the Quran. If you look at Surah Nur, what does Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala tell us there? He is talking about His, the word that is used is called rijal. Right? Rijal, rajalun basically means men. But this doesn't really mean like men in the sense that it's only applicable to men only. It means like those are my true servants, right? Like my true believers. Rijalun, like, as you true men. So like true persons, men or female, male or female, are those لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله, that they are not heedless by their trade and commerce عن ذكر الله, from the remembrance of Allah. Then sure, go ahead, do trade, nobody's stopping you. Go ahead, do commerce, nobody's stopping you. You have your job, fine. You have your business, mashallah, very good. But the true servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are those la tulhihim, they are not rendered heedless of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the dhikr of Allah because of their trade and commerce. So this is a state that we should be asking for. Should we not be asking for that? Allahu Akbar kabira. We should be asking for that, Ya Allah, that we want this. We want this state for ourselves. Allah, we find that, we have this, we can't remember you, Allah, so we want this. We want this for ourselves and we want for other people as well. And that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran. He says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Again, those people who profess Iman, who profess belief, who profess that they have this ta'alluq with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who profess that they are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who profess that they believe in akhirah, who profess that they believe in everything, every word that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was sent with. They believe in all of that. La tulhihim, that you should not become heedless with what things? Your amwal and your awlad should not make you heedless from the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That your amwal means your wealth, your possessions, things that you hold dear in your life, and your awlad, your progeny, your children, should not become a source of heedlessness from the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah Ta'ala mentions this very, very clearly. So very clearly He mentions in the Quran that we should not use these things to forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they should become things that we should use to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu Akbar Kabira. One of our elders, his name was Khaja Shahabuddin Suharwardi Rahmatullah Ta'ala alayh. He mentions that one time he was traveling to Makkah Mukarramah, and on his travels he was doing tawaf, and during this tawaf he saw that there was this one person. He was hanging on to the covering of the Kaaba. He was hanging on to the multazim, to the door of the Kaaba, and he's crying his eyes out and he's making du'as. And the Shaykh said that I became attentive towards his heart to gauge the state of his heart. And subhanAllah, this was, it's like a doctor. Doctors can look at you and they can tell you that you're sick. Ahlullah, they had this, Allah Ta'ala had blessed them with this fariqa. Allah Ta'ala had blessed them with this inner sight, as they call it, that they were able to gauge the state of heart. So he became attentive towards the heart of the person, and he saw this person, his heart was filled with dunya. And he was thinking, while he's crying, he's thinking, oh, other people will look at me and they'll think, mashallah, mashallah, I'm so pious. I'm so pious that I'm crying, and people from my own town will think that I'm a pious person. And subhanallah, and that's it's true. You have people who are, who may be doing things only outwardly, and we are amongst those people. A lot of times we just do it to show others. We don't. And so for that reason, our amal, they are rejected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so Shaykh Suharwardi Rahmatullah Ta'ala, he then says that once I was done with the tawaf, I went to Mina, and when I went there, I saw that there was a shopkeeper there, and he was selling, to all these customers, and he was really busy. And he said that I became attentive towards his heart, and I saw that his heart, not even for a single second, he was heedless. That he had Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his heart. His heart was saying Allah, Allah, Allah. His heart was fragrant with the dhikr. And this is what Allah Ta'ala wants from us. That wherever your body is, the second thing is, your heart should be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your heart should be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what Allah Ta'ala wants from us. Allahu Akbar Kabira. May Allah Ta'ala make us amongst those people. Make us amongst those people. So the purpose behind these gatherings and these reminders, for myself first and for others, is exactly that. That for too long we have been thinking and running after the dunya. A time will come where we'll have to leave this dunya behind, and everyone in this dunya will have to leave them behind as well. So my dear brothers and sisters, attach yourself with the eternal. Attach yourself with the one that loves you. Attach your hearts with the one that counts. Attach your hearts with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Engage in excessive dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not the one that we do, 5 minutes a day, like 3 minutes a day. No, it should be excessive. It should be excessive. We should do a lot of dhikr. Sometimes we can't do it because, we're not just ready for it. We feel wahsha, we feel unease when we're doing dhikr. Why? Because we have trained our minds with so much ghafla. It's like a person who has been in the garbage dump for such a long time. When that person comes out, and if they smell some fragrance, the fragrance doesn't smell good because they're used to that garbage smell. Exactly like that, for such a long time in our lives, our hearts were filled with the garbage of the dunya and everything in the dunya, that now that even when we sit for a few minutes to do dhikr, we feel unease. But we have to do the mujahidah. And that is what the mashayikh do. That is what the elders do. They help a person do the mujahidah, do the mihnat, do the effort, do the striving. They do it, so alhamdulillah, the force of nafs can break, and the heart can become prominent and dominant, and the heart can actually become jari. it becomes, it starts like the engine starts of the dhikr, and now every decision he makes or she makes, Allah is in front of them. Akhirah is in front of them. So we make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us achieve that level of closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And again, I will say this, it is achievable by everyone. My dear brothers and sisters, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. This is something that every single person can achieve in their lives. All you have to do is just make the effort. We just don't do it. We just don't make the effort. Subhanallah, it's ajib. We do little work and then our nafs comes in and, we go back. This is the extent of our mihnat and mujahidah that we do. We put boundaries around our own self. You know what? I have done enough. I have done enough, and then we step back. And subhanAllah, it's ajib. If you look at it from the perspective that the Akabirin have taught us, you see how the nafs comes up with different excuses not to do certain things. And subhanAllah, people become engaged in other things in their lives. Allahu Akbar. So inshallah, we make dua that inshallah ta'ala that Allah ta'ala makes us from people of dhikr, not from people of ghafla, and people help us take this dhikr to other people around our communities, around our societies, around the world, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of us, every single one of us, with His remembrance, with the sweetness of His fragrance of His remembrance. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah. Inshallah ta'ala, we will do some dhikr now. So I want you to focus your minds and hearts towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First, we'll do dhikr lisani with our tongues. Inshallah ta'ala, I will recite these du'as, these ayahs, these surahs once or twice, so you know what to recite, and then inshallah ta'ala, under your tongue, you should recite them after me, thinking about the meanings, inshallah. Even if you don't know the meanings, you should still recite them, inshallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Astaghfirullah Rabbi min kulli dhanbi wa atubu ilayh. 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 اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم يا قاضي الحاجات يا قاضي الحاجات يا قاضي الحاجات يا قاضي الحاجات يا قاضي الحاجات. اللهم يا كافي المهمات يا كافي المهمات يا كافي المهمات يا كافي المهمات يا كافي المهمات. اللهم يا دافع البليات 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 يا دافع البليات. اللهم يا شافي الأمراض 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 يا شافي الأمراض. اللهم يا رافع الدرجات 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 يا رافع الدرجات. اللهم يا مجيب الدعوات 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 يا مجيب الدعوات. اللهم يا مسبب الأسباب 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 يا مسبب الأسباب. اللهم يا أرحم الراحمين 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 برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Oh Allah, whatever we have read, Allah, we ask you, we beseech you that you send the rewards of this to all the prophets and messengers, Ya Allah Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, especially our beloved Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Oh Allah, we ask you that you send this blessing to all the Sahaba Kiram, the companions, especially the Ashar Mubashir, the 10 who have been given the glad tidings of Jannah, all the Ahl Bayt, the family of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the Khulafai Rashideen, especially Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, Radiallahu Ta'ala Anhu, Allah, this reward to all the Siddiqeen, the Shuhada, the Salihin, the Akabirin of this Ummah, the Mashayikh, the Ulama of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'at. Allah, we ask that you send this reward to all the Muslims and the Muslimat from Yalla Kareem Adam alayhi salam to the last day of Qiyamah Yalla Kareem. Ameen Ya Rabbul Alameen. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. 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 اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا خفي اللطف أدركني بلطفك الخفي. 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 اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا باقي أنت الباقي. 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 اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. 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 اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك أستغيث 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 اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والله ذو فضل على المؤمنين 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 اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون 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 اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله ولي الذين آمنوا 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 اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والله ولي المؤمنين. 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 اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. Inshallah, dear brothers and sisters, for a few minutes, we will do muraqabah, we will do dhikr of Allah Ta'ala in our hearts. So close your eyes, bow your heads in humility and humbleness to Allah. Empty your thoughts of all the thoughts of dunya and anyone in it. Negate everything and even your own self. Affirm Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's presence and make niyyah that this nur, this light is coming and descending upon our hearts. It's cleansing our hearts of all the filth and darkness. And feel that your heart is calling out to Allah. Feel that your heart is saying, Allah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Make dua inshallah. سبحان ربي على الوهاب. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. اللهم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. Ya Allah Kareem, our kind and merciful Lord, our most magnificent Lord, Ya Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, the most compassionate, Ya Allah. Allah, we are your despicable, Ya Allah, we are your despicable servants sitting in front of you, Ya Allah Kareem. Allah, agreeing to all our shortcomings and all our faults, Ya Allah. Allah, we sit here, Allah, seeking, Ya Allah, redemption, Allah, seeking repentance from you, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, please forgive each and every one of us. Allah, make our hearts fragrant with your dhikr, your remembrance. Allah, clean our hearts. Ya Allah, take the darkness away. Take the emptiness away, Allah. Fill our hearts with your muhabbat, your love. Fill our hearts with your connection, Ya Allah Kareem. Make us somebody, Ya Allah, who willingly submits himself and herself to you, Allah Kareem. Oh Allah, make our lives count, Ya Allah. Allah, give us the sweetness of Iman. Allah, give us taqwa, God consciousness. Give us haya, give us modesty, Allah. Allah, make us amongst those, Ya Allah, that you love. Make us amongst those, Allah, who serve your deen, Ya Allah Kareem. Allah, protect us from the whims of shaitan, from our own desires. Protect us from shaitan. Protect us from our own nufus, Ya Allah Kareem. Allah, we are wretched, we agree, Ya Allah, we admit that, but Allah, we also admit that you are the most forgiving and you love to forgive. So Allah, forgive us, Allah. Allah, Ya Allah, with your compassion, with your mercy, we have entered the month of Rajab. Oh Allah, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to make dua that Ya Allah Kareem, Ya Allah, bless us in the months of Rajab and Shaban. Allah, take us into Ramadan. Allah, help us prepare for Ramadan, Ya Allah Kareem. Help us prepare for Akhirah, Ya Allah Kareem. Allah, help us be those people, Ya Allah, who live a life of Iman and who have a death of Iman, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, help Muslims wherever they are, Ya Allah Kareem. Allah, help us, Ya Allah, take this guidance, Ya Allah, and take it to the four corners of the dunya, Ya Allah Kareem. Oh Allah, please accept all of our du'as, Ya Allah, with your rahmat, your fadl, and your karam. Ameen, Ya Rabbul Alameen. खुदा बंदा मकसूद है मन तू ई वरज़ाए तू मेरा मोहब्बत व मारिफत ज़ौक़ व शौक़ बिदे सल्लल्लाहु तआला अला खैरि खल्क़िही मुहम्मदिन व अला आलिही व अस्हाबिही अजमईन बिरहमतिका या अरहमर राहिमीन आमीन या रब्बल आलमीन जज़ाकुमुल्लाह खैर व अहसन जज़ाक inshallah ta'ala may Allah accept us sitting and our doing dhikr inshallah ta'ala may Allah make us amongst dhakirin and dhakirat. Inshallah, just a short reminder that next Saturday, inshallah, 1 p.m. New York Standard Time, we will have our family gathering, meaning all the brothers and sisters, inshallah, they can come. They have separate seating, sitting, full parda, inshallah, and we will, have a similar program there. We'll do dhikr of Allah. We'll have a slightly longer talk, inshallah, dealing with Islamic spirituality, and we'll do muraqabah and taqwa, and inshallah, then there'll be lunch. So everybody's invited. So if you search for Zanab Center in New Jersey, inshallah you will find it. The address is there. So search for Zanab Center in Edison, New Jersey, and everybody is welcome to attend from wherever they are. This location is much more accessible for some of the southern states, inshallah, and even from the north. So inshallah, make the effort. Nobody can benefit anyone, as I had said before. It's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who will look at your efforts, look at how much you strive in the path of Allah, and Allah ta'ala will bless you accordingly, according to your niyas. So inshallah ta'ala, next Saturday, 1 p.m. So please come on time. If you're planning to attend, then we ask you that you come on time, inshallah ta'ala, so we can pray Dhuhr and start the program promptly, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakumullah khair wa ahsan jazak al-darain. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This session is no longer being recorded. Goodbye.